Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream
that his children will one day
live in a world where
they will be judged by the content of their character
rather than the color of their skin.
I don't think of love as, in this context, as emotional bosh. But I think of love as something strong and that organizes itself into powerful. There's a great deal of difference between non-resistance to evil and non-violent resistance. Non-resistance leaves you in a state of stagnant passivity and deadening complacency, wherein non-violent resistance means that you do resist in a very strong and determined manner.
When you think of Martin Luther King, you think about opportunities that have been extended to and afforded to people that before his movement were shut out from the American process.
This past weekend marked the 29th consecutive year that the city of Inglewood commemorated the life and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The celebration was broken up into two events, with the first event taking place in Faithful Central Bible Church, where students were awarded for their outstanding speech performance on the topic of defining the dream in an era of change. The ceremony was hosted by KTLA 5 news anchor Michaela Pereira, with special guests Ade Lamar from KJLH Radio, actress Anna Maria Horsford, and the talented Inglewood natives. Greater New Bethel Mass Choir provided soundtrack for the gala.
Dr. King left a legacy that we have to follow. He made sacrifices for us. He was a human being that was looking out for other human beings. And that legacy needs to continue.
The second half of the celebration kicked off at Darby Park, where local businesses, food service trucks, live performances, and fun areas for children created an atmosphere of festivities for the residents of the community.
We're out here today doing health screenings, vision screenings, hearing screenings, and blood pressure checks for members of the Inglewood community. We're here to commemorate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. We're just so happy to see all the youth out here today, all the families out here today, and we're here to provide service to the memory of Dr. King.
I think it's a fantastic event. And what I like about it is that you really have quite a crowd here, and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. We celebrate people who made a difference, and King has made a major difference, including all the people, not just part of the people.
The Inglewood High School Marching Band, under the direction of the legendary Dr. Conrad Hutchison III, performed in their vibrant green and white uniforms to get the crowd's juices flowing.
If I could use one word to describe Martin Luther King, what word would that be? Other than awesome? And that would be my word. Awesome because he was willing to deny himself for the benefit of mankind and his family.
We continue to teach the kids about Martin Luther King, what his dream was about, and where we can proceed to in the future. If you lose the dream, you lose the children.
Here's a man that overcame a tremendous adversity to put forward ideas that were not universally popular in this country, but he did it by being committed, dedicated, being a leader, and exercising extreme discipline. And I think those are things that particularly our youth should be trained in today.
If it wasn't for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., me and Roger would not be friends today. He wanted people to be judged by their character, not their color.
Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for everything. Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with the pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation.